Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Radical Geek YouTube channel. And this Monday morning, I've got an important topic to discuss. So just listen to this quick intro and we'll get right down to it. Good morning, everyone. Here we are for our Monday YouTube upload video. And if you want to take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon to get your notifications every time we upload a video, and to be notified again when we go live every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern. That will be fantastic, and we will all have a great time together. So I mentioned that we're about to have a very serious sort of discussion, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this particular video, but I'd love for us to start having this conversation to see what kind of things we can teach each other. What I've been seeing lately is what I'm going to refer to as diet fatigue. We've talked already a couple times where I've talked about holiday food stress and coping strategies when you're with your family, and staying the course for your own personal health, but also not getting so tied up into it that you can't enjoy your life around you. But one thing that starts to happen, especially in this day and age of the internet, and it's happened before the internet and will continue to happen into the future, is somewhat a little bit of time before Halloween in October, and then all the way through until like February, diet marketing and discussion ramps up hugely, and it creates some interesting issues in our society in general. And I'm referring to this as diet fatigue. And what diet fatigue is an elevation in stress. And as you all may recall, I'm a big proponent of stress reduction. Stress impacts our bodies in huge ways. If you're seeing unfavorable results and you've had a lot of stress, there's a good chance that it could be part of why. It can cause a lot of physical issues like headaches and some inflammation and general mental unwellness, all surrounding that stress. So it's really important that we start paying attention to that. But in specific, this diet fatigue, it's something that we see, and we're starting to see in some of our groups more and more people saying, I'm so overwhelmed, there's so much information, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not seeing these XYZ results, and I'm so confused. And they're like, I feel like I'm about to give up and I'm just starting. And we see this, and then sometimes, and what we're starting to see too is people we know well, people who've been around for a long time, also saying, there's so much going on and everything is changing so fast, and I thought I was doing everything right, and now I feel like maybe I don't know what I'm doing anymore, or I'm not seeing XYZ result, or I'm seeing this outlier suddenly happening, and I don't know how to fix it, and building up like this intense pressure surround it. And if you're experiencing some of these things you might be experiencing is that overwhelming, it's so much happening. Maybe you got some heavier than usual depression. Maybe you're having difficulty seeing the success that you are having with your goals, whether it be diet or work or home life or otherwise. And more intense feeling that maybe when you're seeing other people having certain achievements or making all these changes, a feeling that, well, maybe I'm just the problem. I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe I'm not committed enough, or I'm simply just not enough. And some of the things that push these sort of feelings are, not only are we seeing a lot of revelation and change, the weather's changing, and because things are getting more stressful surrounding the holiday, other things people are doing, we're seeing like a lot of dietary challenges. Let's see who can lose the most in the same amount of time. Let's see who can adhere to the most strict protocol possible to kick off that fast weight loss hack. Hey, we found out that this makes things change this 0.005%, and so everybody jumps on to do it. And just like any communication, sometimes there's like that snowball effect where it might have been like this one little simple statement, but now it's suddenly gotten out of hand and all the way super extreme. And that's not what anybody said, but that's the way it's been construed to this point. And on top of all of this stuff that's happening, you have to work through with your family who's like, oh, come on, you don't gotta be so strict just this one time. Why don't you loosen up just a smidge? And it really does start piling on you and other things. So if you don't kind of work with yourself to give yourself a break, things that you can happen is these kind of the intense stress can be a trigger to start you down the road of disordered eating, which you definitely don't want. We want healthy, proper human diet, healing focus, not I must only lose weight at any cost in order to be as good as XYZ. That's where we start getting into some real problems. Having some body dysmorphia, let's face it, some people who've had a lot of success or who have a different dynamic than you do are pretty amazing looking, and some of them are they've got, let's face it, they're different age, they're different ethnicity, they're in a different location, they've got a different life from you. No two bodies are exactly the same. Do we have some similar biological pieces? Yes, we do. Of course we do. But are we the same? No, we are not. So there's a lot of stress too. Like we've talked extensively about the food police. Don't ever eat sweeteners. They're so bad for you. They're going to trigger your insulin. They're going to do that. But maybe for you, having that little bit of sweetener is what's the make or break for you. And yet then now you're in your head, well, 20 people told me today that I'm going to be a failure if I don't give up my sweeteners. So, and you let that start getting in your head, and it's just not true. Might your journey be a little different if you gave up sweeteners? Maybe, maybe not. You without some long-term testing, we just don't know. So, what are some things you can do when this starts happening? So remember, go back to our previous discussion about taking that little time out to meditate, clear your mind, refocus yourself, get centered. Take a break. Take a break from all of the challenges. Go back to what you know always made you feel good when you started changing for your health. Just go back to your basics. Go back to your standard. Don't worry if your body fat changes 0.5%, 2%, or even 3%. That a lot of that is probably the stress and the fact that you have been narrowing things down stricter and stricter and stricter and getting harder and harder and harder and harder on yourself. For goodness sakes, give yourself a break. You are amazing and you work so damn hard already. Give yourself a break to deal with everything going around. Take a step back. Look at how far you have come, even if you're on day 2. Just making that decision is enormous success. You showed up and you are fantastic. So put all those things aside. Remind yourself that you have long-term goals. Maybe your goal is to do everything you can to help keep your cancer in remission. Maybe your goal is to lose 50 pounds. Maybe your goal is to lose 300 pounds. Maybe your goal is not weight loss at all. Maybe you're trying to get your diabetes under control. Maybe You want to recompose your body so that you have a more muscular structure. Maybe you just have some arthritis and you want to get that inflammation under control. Everybody's journey is different when it comes to health and fitness. And so sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the weight loss industry where the focus sometimes forgets about all of those other pieces that you have going on with health and gets you into that mindset of I must lose weight at any cost. The answer is no, not at any cost. There is a time on your health when the price comes just too high, and that is where we try to put a cork in the hole there so that you are not hurting yourself instead of achieving your success. So you want to put aside that and help you work your way towards back a better mental state. Again, doing some de-stress techniques. And another thing I will tell you is this is a great time of the year to go see a professional counselor. Counselors are not there to only solve problems. They are there to help you with your personal internal communications. We are, to coin that popular phrase, our own worst critics, and sometimes they can help you see the forest for the trees. They can let you enjoy that morning sunshine. They can help you refocus yourself and get back into a happier state of mind. So let's hear about it in the comments below. Let's talk about some successes that you've seen lately in how you're feeling. Let's talk about where maybe you're struggling and where maybe you could use a hand up of some supportive words from our friends in our community. Let's hear about things that you do when you start getting in your own head. Let's talk about things we can do to help new people in our community and to help them deal with the deluge of information coming their way. Some of us are old hat and we think, oh, it's easy peasy, but if we think back to years ago when we first started making changes to our health, we have to remember that it was not easy. It was nightmarishly hard, and here we are now. So let's share that with people and help reduce their stress and help them achieve success, and at the same time help ourselves to continue feeling good. I really enjoy seeing you guys. I really enjoy talking to everyone, and that is my message for today. Give yourself some space and remember that you are already successful just by showing up, and have an awesome day. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye-bye.